Greetings, YouTube! The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And we are going to be talking about the new spell, Leomund's Lamentable Belaborment, which is one of the new spells that came out of the D&D Beyond drops. You can see it right down there. It says D&D Beyond drops. We're going to be talking about this spell. It is a 6th level spell, so it is a higher level one, but it is absolutely broken, especially if you do a few things. So we're going to be talking about that as well. So lots to talk about, lots to go over. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere. All right, before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment below. Don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to hype this video. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And don't forget to like this video. All right, here we go. Leomund's Lamentable Belaborment. Very long title. It is a 6th level spell. It has a casting time of 1 action. It's a range of 30 feet, so it's not super far. It's not close either. But it is one of the closer spells, and it is a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point that you choose. It is a verbal component, no somatic, no material component. That's pretty good. It has a duration of 1 minute without concentration. That makes this spell super broken. School of Enchantment, it is an intelligence saving throw. Again, another thing that we like, which also contributes to this spell being super broken. So you proclaim an insightful or inflammatory statement, such as a claim about the politics of a nearby town. That's just an example. Each creature in a 10-foot sphere radius centered on a point you choose within range must succeed on an intelligence saving throw or have the charmed condition. What does the charmed condition do? Let's highlight that. You can't attack the charmer or target the charmer with damaging abilities or magical effects. So there is that. And then the charmer has advantage on any ability check to interact with you socially. So they have the charm condition until the spell ends. Any creature that does not share a language with you or that has an intelligence score lower than 3 automatically succeeds on the save. There are ways to get around this, and we're going to talk about those. While charmed, the target must spend its turn. That means it must spend its entire turn discussing or arguing for or against your statement, meaning it is not going to do anything other than argue. For the duration, the target has a speed of 0. It cannot move. It has the blinded and deafened condition. So blinded, again, it cannot see and automatically fails any ability check that requires sight. Attack rolls against it have advantage, and it makes attack rolls at disadvantage, but it can't attack, so it doesn't matter. And then it is also deafened, so it cannot hear, and it automatically fails any ability check that requires hearing. Now, it has the blinded and deafened condition with respect to everyone except for you, the caster, and other targets affected by this spell. At the end of each of its turn, the target repeats a save, ending the spell on itself on a success. However, it's an intelligence saving throw, which is the hardest one to make. You cannot upcast this. So a few things in this spell, just right off the bat. No concentration. It lasts for a minute. Everything in that 10-foot radius that failed that saving throw is locked down. And doing damage or attacking anything that is affected by the spell does not break the spell. So they're going to sit there and they're going to discuss and argue, and they're going to get beat on while they're discussing and arguing for a full minute. That is pretty much in 5th edition and 5.5 an entire combat. That is what makes this very, very broken. Now, it is usable by bards, sorcerers, and wizards, which there are things that you can layer on top of this that make it even more broken, and we're going to talk about those right now. So for bards, you all know I love the Bard College of Eloquence with the unsettling words, which means I can use a bardic inspiration to give you a penalty to a saving throw. You know that I love the sorcerer and all of the sorcerer's abilities, and we are primarily talking about the meta magic abilities. And that big one is heightened spell, where we force a creature to make a saving throw at disadvantage for the entire spell. In addition, we also like innate sorcery, where we're increasing the DC of all saving throws by 1 to everybody in there. We also like the wild magic sorcerer for this spell because we get bend luck. So we can spend a sorcery point, and give them another D4 penalty on their saving throw. If you want to get a little funky with this, you can also add Coldcaster in here, but that requires a round setup where you hit them with a Ray of Frost, and then they take a penalty to their saving throw. All in all, we want as many penalties to the saving throws on this because we want to affect as many creatures as we can in this. So you can kind of sprinkle some of those penalties around. I just named 3 different penalties that you can impose. You could sprinkle those around before casting this spell and then just go for it. Now, there is one major hitch with this one, and that is this language barrier. So if you are targeting a bunch of creatures that do not share language with you, and for bards and sorcerers, this is a problem because they don't get a lot of languages because the int is not their big score. However, there is the spell Tongues, which is a bard and sorcerer spell in addition to being a cleric, warlock, and wizard spell. It's 3rd level. It lasts for an hour. You can target yourself, and it does not require concentration. Not that that matters, because Leomund's Lamentable Belaborment also does not require concentration. I cannot believe that they let this spell go without putting concentration on it. But, I mean, it is 6th level, so it's pretty high level, but it is a pretty nasty spell. But so if you cast Tongues, it grants the creature you touch the ability to understand any spoken or signed language that it hears or sees. Moreover, when the target communicates by speaking or signing, any creature that knows at least one language can understand it if that creature can hear the speech or see the signing. And guess what? They are blind and deafened to everybody but you, so they will be affected by this. So you could cast Tongues, you could have it on, and then whenever you talk, you share a language with everything. So you could basically go after everything as long as it has a score higher than an intelligence score higher than 3. Now, what is the grade we're going to give this? We are, of course, going to give this an S tier. Absolutely. This is a free lockdown for 1 minute without having to worry about concentration, and we can get around that language barrier pretty easy. Easy S tier spell, and then the rest of the party, because everybody is blind to the rest of your group as players, you can just destroy them. Now, having a villain cast this or a bad guy cast this on the DM side, not as much of a advantage, because if you've got like a boss and they cast it, then they're going to be able to be seen and heard. Now, the party's not going to be able to do anything other than argue and discuss the statement that the boss creature makes, but they'll be able to see the boss and hear the boss. So the boss can act normally on them. There's not really a whole lot they can do, but it is what it is. So, all right, that is the spell that I have for everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed, and I will catch everybody later.